Hello. Today we're going to learn how to graph lines, and we're going to graph lines from slope-intercept form. So we talked before about vertical and horizontal lines, and I just want to review that really quickly. Remember, if you have an equation that only has a y in it, that should create a horizontal line. If you have an equation with only an x, your line should be vertical. So for the first problem that we have, y equals -5, if its y is equal to, you want to go on your y-axis and find -5. And then you're just going to draw a horizontal line straight through that. This is showing us that every single y value on that line is equal to -5. A lot of times people want to draw a vertical line instead. However, that's just going to show you that it goes through 0, it will cover up your y-axis, and not actually tell us that we need the -5. So be careful of that. On the flip side, what if it says x equals -5? Well, in that case, I'm going to go to my x-axis and find where x is -5. And we're going to create a vertical line straight through that, because on this line, every single x value is equal to -5. We also looked at graphing slope-intercept form, and if you are given an equation in y equals mx plus b, remember b is where you begin, and you're beginning on your y-axis, and m is how you move. So in number 1, we're going to begin at our b value. Since it's -2 on your y-axis, you want to find a -2, and your slope is -1/5. Well, if the negative is in front of your number, you could attach that sign to either the 1 or the 5. However, you can't attach it to both, because a double negative will cancel each other out. So we could use our rise over run as -1 over +5, or +1 over -5. They're exactly the same thing, but one goes to the right and one will go to the left. So let's start. Let's use the -1 over +5 first. That means I'm moving down 1 and to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to make my second point. I can also start from my y-intercept and move up 1 and to the right 5. 5, please. Excuse me while I correct this. Okay, we're going to begin at -2. Silly made a mistake. And we can start by going down 1 and to the right 5, or up 1 and to the left 5. There we go. The reason I caught that mistake is because I know my slope was negative, but I was getting an increasing line. So if we have these 3 points, we can connect them, and we get our decreasing line. And then you probably want to erase your boxes, or you don't actually have to draw those in. Okay, sorry about that. And let's look at one more. What if we see an equation like number 3, y is equal to -5 over 2x? Well, if we don't have a plus or minus at the end of that equation, we know there's technically a +0 there. So that means that we're going to start at 0. This is a direct variation equation. So my first point will be at 0. And then again, if the negative's just in front of your fraction, you can attach it to either the 5 or the 2. So we could have -5 over 2 or 5 over -2. Now let's see if I can do this one without messing it up. We're going to start from our origin and move down 5 to the right 2. Or we could start from our origin and move up 5 to the left 2. Again, with a negative slope, you should see a decreasing line. Finally, with something like number 4, if you have a -7, well, that might tell us our rise, but what's our run? It's not 7 over 7, remember it's 7 over 1. And if you ever have to change a whole number into a slope, into a fraction, you're always going to put it over 1. So in 4, we would begin at 3, and then you're moving down 7 to the right 1. So right there. We could also move up 7 to the left 1. However, I don't have space for that on my graph. So instead, I'll stick with 2 points and use them to create a line.